Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's literally so sad. Oh, okay. Hakeem MVP. I'm sorry, man. We're going to get into love couples of League of Legends. Now, again, I am somebody that's barely played any League of Legends. I have about 5 to 10 hours into the game. I don't know too much more about the lore. I've been getting into the lore for the last couple of weeks now. So let's get into the love couples of League of Legends.
Valentine's Day is here, and with it we can cover topics that would usually sound awkward. Such as, let's talk about all the characters in League of Legends that may have a love affair.
Okay.
Now, veteran viewers might know that we have done a similar video years ago. But we made that one back when half of the characters still had outdated
This one's 3 years old, so it may be a little updated.
Within its universe. We can properly talk about who's doing
Is there actual nudity in some of the comics?
First of all, few clarifications. We will only talk about love affairs in the main storyline. We will avoid all alternative universes because this video would be too long. So no Odyssey Jinx and Kayn, no Odyssey Kayn and Ahri, and no Star Guardian Ezreal and Lux. Also, it may happen that I miss a couple of characters. League's universe is pretty massive at this point. So if you remember someone I didn't, feel free to correct me in the comments. And finally, let me quickly mention some couples that were teased in the past, but are not canon anymore. Twisted Fate and Evelynn never met. That's the end of that list. And don't get me started on Jarvan and Shyvana, Ezreal and Shyvana, or Riven and Zac. Those have never happened. Now, we got a long list of champions and characters that are canon in some way.
Okay, here we go.
Let's get on it. Going in alphabetical order, the first champion is Ahri. Ahri's story is very simple. She's an orphaned Vastaya that was left alone in the woods. There, she was adopted by a pack of foxes. So not only did she not meet a single human until much later in her life, she also had to learn how to use her magic on her own. So she can be quite destructive with it. The problem is that she also has an unsatiable hunger for human essences. She can hardly befriend a human, because she usually ends up
I did not know that.
Killing them. Not because she would
I had no idea.
But because she has the uncontrollable hunger.
I mean, we haven't reacted to much Ahri stuff just because, honestly, a lot of you have been commenting to react to other things other than Ahri.
Ahri's lovers. It was a man she dearly cared for. But on one romantic night near a beautiful lake,
she killed
Ahri's
him.
mind just snapped and she drained his soul.
With
his emotions and memories. Later in the story,
tragic
Ahri
love
went
story.
to a garden that hosted flowers capable of deleting your memories. She wanted the flowers to take away the memory of her killing her lover.
That's messed up.
She made up her mind. So now she has to live with that gruesome image for the rest of her life.
Oh, okay.
An interesting bonus is that Edward Santangelo, an explorer from Piltover, saw Ahri and he was immediately charmed by her. We even got this drawing of her in his book. Next one on the list is Akali. Well, not exactly her, but we can talk about her parents a bit. See, in Akali's story, we never learn anything about her father.
No,
the story only mentions Mayhem, the Fist of Shadow. And as the story says, her partner, Tano. Now it seems like both Mayhem and Tano are women. Which brings up the question, how is Akali here? In theory, Tano might be a guy. But then again, he was referred to as her partner and not husband. That brings up the question, why? So we legitimately have no idea who Akali's father is. Next on the list, we have Ashe and Tryndamere.
Okay, so we don't got much about Akali.
These two champions are very interesting now because for years, and I really mean for years at this point, Ashe and Tryndamere used to be married for political reasons.
Wait.
There was no
is Tryndamere?
No romance involved, but that's not the case anymore.
Is Tryndamere who I think it is?
In the new universe, Riot decided to spice up their relationship a bit. We will cover their stories in more detail later, but to summarize what's happening. Ashe became a war mother, a leader of a Freljordian tribe. But war mothers are expected to be wed to warriors from different tribes. This bond would create stronger alliances and it would make both tribes stronger overall. So when the time came, Ashe decided to choose Tryndamere, an uncivilized barbarian from a slaughtered tribe.
Guys, okay, let me calm down for a second. Tryndamere is not who I thought it was. It's, I was thinking of the troll character. There's the one troll character that I can't recall their name. I thought their name started with a T, so...
The reason why she chose him was because when Tryndamere arrived in the Avarosan villages, he threw himself into as many dueling pits as he could find, to prove that his people are strong and relentless.
So why'd she do it for political reasons?
Even though the majority of his barbarian tribe was dead, Tryndamere proved to Ashe and everyone around that his raw strength is almost inhuman. Many even believed that he was possessed by black magic, but Ashe chose him nonetheless. At the beginning, it was purely for political reasons. Ashe had absolutely no feelings for him. Tryndamere was still quite uncivilized for her standards, but it was good to have someone showcasing power beside her.
Does she change?
But as time went on and the two ruled over the lands they rallied, It seems as though Ashe and Tryndamere are finding a common bond. It isn't
So was Ashe technically a leader then at some point because Tryndamere is a leader and then she marries him?
further expanded upon yet, but we know that some kind of romantic
And
relationship
Freljord?
is developing there, which is something the story never mentioned before.
Okay.
Next we have Azir. Just like all the rulers that are expected to
Azir,
continue
really?
their bloodline, Azir also had a few children, which means that he also had a wife. But interestingly enough, we have some information about his mother, but not the wife. We know their relationship was possibly deep, because we know
Ooh.
about the last moments Azir spent with his family. In one of Azir's stories, there is a scene where he returns to the Sun Disk and the sands show him what happened before his death. The sands reveal his wife and his children standing nearby, as Azir was getting ready to ascend. But seconds before the ritual was complete, Xerath betrayed him and he unleashed the full potential of the Sun Disk,
Okay, so wait.
destroying the Empire for millennia
So
to
we
come.
don't know.
The interesting bit is that the sands showed Azir the faces of his wife and children before they were annihilated. So the fact that he probably deeply loved his wife makes it all the worse.
Interesting
Because
that we
not only
don't
does
get
he
to
have
know.
live again with the image
I
of
guess
her
they're
death in his
nobodies.
mind. But before his wife was vaporized, she was also heavy with another child. Now, if their bloodline was vaporized, that brings up a different question. How did Azir cheat his wife to get Sivir somewhere down the road? Now, don't worry, the next story won't be any brighter. Next up, we have Brand. Brand's real name was
Brand, we've literally heard the tiniest amount about Brand. I know Brand exists because of team fight tactics. That's it.
Road. He was the son of a Freljordian witch, but unfortunately, he lived in the part of Freljord where people didn't appreciate witches, shamans, or dark magic in general. It's the part of Freljord that's surprisingly close to Demacia. Here, when necessary, people would use their healing powers. But at the same time, they would always shun them, making the shamans live alone on the edges of their territory, despite them being necessary for survival of the village. So from his young age, Kagan wasn't a popular kid in his village.
Kagan?
But that
Is
doesn't
that his real
mean
name?
that he didn't
How does he
have a
become
crush.
Brand?
He fell in love with Zvana, a girl from a tribe that migrated to his village. So because she was new, she didn't see Kagan as a spawn of evil. She was the only girl in the village that kinda liked him.
That's
Years
nice.
passed and both of them were nearly adults. Every year there is a season during which the girls would wait at the shores and the boys would dance to impress them. This is
The Sadie Hawk. Well, that's just like a mating
how the
ritual.
weddings
Never
were
mind.
decided. But despite Kagan being by far the most resilient dancer in the village, Zvana was given to another guy by her father. She didn't really have a choice. Kagan had a bad reputation, so Zvana's father wouldn't let him have her. But she pretended to be happy with the other person, just so Kagan wouldn't get furious. That didn't help, and Kagan punched her father really hard. Things escalated when Kagan's mother died, and he burned down his entire village for being racist towards magic. He meant to only burn down the leader of the village.
Okay, hold on. This is the first time I'm hearing anything about Brand. He has a tragic story. He has kind of a tragic story, is it not? Like,
together with his house. But the flame spread.
Where's
and he later
Brand
found
now
out that he
in
also
lore?
burned Zvana,
I'm curious.
together with the other guy and the child they had together.
Okay.
Now let's move on to Camille. When Camille was still
I like
100%
Camille.
human,
I like her aesthetic.
she was in love with Hakim Naderi, a brilliant engineer that could also do miracles with hextech technology. He was also from Sharima. Camille was part of the Pharaoh's family, a house that had a massive influence on Piltover, and Hakim worked for them as their inventor, so the two spent a lot of time together. But Camille had to become the principal intelligencer of her family, which is something like an enforcer of her family's will. And in order to be a good intelligencer, her body was to be altered. It was Hakim who was tasked to do the operation. And
something bad goes.
so he had to change the body of someone he loved into something nearly inhuman.
Okay, I like this photo. Who is this Hakim here? Is this Camille here before the operation? It's called Severed Ties. It's behind me. This is a cool graphic though. Oh, okay. This is another tragic story. Why are all the love couples tragedies?
He couldn't bear the fact that he essentially deleted the soul
Can we
of a
just have
person
one
he
happy
held
ending,
dear. He
please?
replaced her heart, in fact. So Hakim
Replaced her
left before
heart.
Camille woke up from the operation. That was the last time the two ever
Oh,
met.
he left. He couldn't bear. Oh, dude.
Many years later, during a mission, Camille was certain she found out that Hakim was back in Piltover. But during her investigation, she realized it wasn't Hakim. It was his nephew who looked much like him. She learned that Hakim never got married and he always carried her picture with him.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's literally so sad. Oh, okay, Hakim MVP. I'm sorry, man.
And in order to be a good intelligencer, Her body was to be altered.
Oh, because she was gonna be an intelligencer forced to be by her family. Ugh, of course, it's always the family.
To the day he died. So now Camille took his nephew under her wings to keep him as the only link to her lost lover.
Oh, dude, that's
Next on
even
the list
worse,
is
though.
Darius. Now Darius might
okay.
be a strong and brutal warrior. He might also be one of the 3 leaders of Noxus. But he
Okay. He's one of the 3 leaders along with Swain, right?
also has a soft heart. During the Noxian comic, we learned that Darius had a love affair with his childhood friend. Her name was Gwyn. When they were still kids, they were recruited into the Noxian army. For years, they conquered lands for the sake of conquering, and also because Darkwill was a mad leader.
Yeah, so Darius, I'm gonna pause. Darius seems like, he's like the strong softy, right? Like the strong softy type character.
From developing. We even got this scene from 19 years ago.
Oh, these are the things that he was blurring earlier.
Each of them to a war front on the opposite side of the Empire.
Wait, I want to read this. You're quiet today. What's wrong? Nothing. It doesn't matter. Why won't you tell me? Because I want to hold on to this moment. Because when we march off to opposite ends of the Empire, I want this memory to be a good one.
10 years later, the invasion of Ionia began, and Quill lost her arm there. This also made her lose faith in the Empire, and she went rogue. She conquered her home city on her own, and she held it hostage from the rest of the army. When Darius came to negotiate with her, he learned that he sent Quill's son to die in a campaign to conquer Freljord. He didn't know that before.
Oh, wow.
And the story made it look
so they
like
hate
Quill
each other.
wanted to tell Darius
Another tragedy, guys.
that it
Of
wasn't
course.
just her son. It looked like she wanted to tell him that it was also his son, the one that came from the previous scene. But Invedia, her second in command, cut her throat before she could say anything.
Whoa.
She likely did it so that this information wouldn't break Darius as well. If he knew that he sent his own son
this
to die
comic's
in the war against
insane.
Freljord, maybe Darius would have gone rogue too. Next we have Elise. Elise is from
Okay, all right. Who's the love? Okay.
from a Noxian family, specifically House Kythera of the Immortal Bastion. Her family was incredibly powerful, and when the time came, Elise was to be wed to another powerful house. This time it was House Zavan.
Oh, she had to be
With this wedding,
married.
both of the houses grew in power. But while her husband also held a lot of influence, everyone knew who really led the house.
Elise.
Soon he became a joke in the Noxian society. At first he ignored it, but in time he couldn't bear
Again, here we go. Here we go. A tragic story, of course. Why can't we just have one happy couple,
the
please?
shadow of Elise. During one seemingly normal dinner, he poisoned Elise's
All right, guys. Comments right now. Who is a happy couple? This video's 3 years old. There's got to be at least one happy couple.
wine, and he told her that
in
he
League
would
of
give her
Legends.
the antidote
Please let me know.
if she gave up her political life, and she passed over the influence. See, he underestimated Elise's dedication to her family, so he was surprised when Elise rammed a knife into his chest without a warning. By the time she found the antidote,
Elise is
the
a
damage
badass,
was
okay?
already done. Her face and skin were ravaged by necrotic flesh. The rest of her story is not important for this video. LeBlanc showed her the spider god of Shadow Isles, and her beauty was restored.
LeBlanc
Next, we have
does it.
Evelyn. She's a demon. Not only does she not care for feelings, she also kills humans for their essences.
Okay.
Now let's pick up the pace
she-
with the rest of the people on this list. We are nearing the 10-minute mark, so we already pleased the gods of YouTube. I don't want this video to be too long. When it comes to Fiora, there were many who wanted to be her husband, but the story made it seem like she
Don't
couldn't
blame
care
him.
less for marriage. She
Also,
is more
don't
into
blame her.
honor and duels that bring more honor to her
She cared
family.
more about her work,
also,
probably.
there's a theory that she might be into women. That's why she denied
Oh,
every
fair.
man. Swain kinda hints at it too.
She spurned so many suitors. I wonder they did not see why.
Then there is Gangplank
That's
and
pretty
Illoia.
cool.
The two were lovers when they were younger.
Gangplank
But
and
Illoia
Illoia.
became a Kraken priestess, so her duties took over her private life.
Okay.
She still loves him, but there isn't much free time to get back into their relationship.
They're too busy.
Then we have Garen and Katarina.
Okay, hold on. Not a tragic story. They're still like, they're still homies. They're still homies, Gangplank and, what's her name?
The two
They're still
likely never met.
homies.
So not
Okay.
only is Illoia's quote wrong now, but many fanfictions also don't make sense anymore. Next is Jax. Jax himself probably didn't do anything.
I don't know
but
too
his
much
lore
about
revealed
Jax.
that back in the Icathian days, the main character of where Icathia once stood, called Aksamukvar Choikoari Ikathor, had a fun night with girls before they marched into the war against the Ascended.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Jax also had a fun night though. And speaking of Icathia, Kassadin had a wife. I mean, obviously,
Oh.
Kaisa had to be born somehow, but we don't know anything about this wife. So, that's that. Next is Lucian.
Wait. Kaisa is the daughter of Kassadin?
Everyone
I
knows that
didn't know
Lucian
that.
and Senna were
Okay.
lovers, but many may not know
Right.
that Lucian made a pretty obvious penis.
Wait, okay, Senna and Lucian. Okay, can we say that's kind of a tragic story, actually, too.
But many may not know that Lucian made a pretty obvious penis joke in his story, while talking to Senna. Like, he didn't even try to hide it. Then, a well-known pair is Nico and Nidalee. I mean, we shouldn't call them a pair, in any meaning in that regard. Despite what you may find on the internet, Nico and Nidalee never did anything. It is true that Nico, being an ancient creature that doesn't even understand the concept of genders, prefers women. But I am pretty sure the ancient Vastaya don't reproduce the way you think they do. So in the end, what does it really matter what Nico is into? In her lens, the only real difference between two beings is their soul. Then there is ARCANE and Xayah.
Oh, how did I forget about these two? This is our happy couple, right? This has to be our happy couple.
Now, these two Vastaya are much further down the evolution chain, so they are much closer to humans. I mean, relatively to the Vastaya Shirei, which was their ancient form.
We haven't looked into that too much.
Besides the fact that at the beginning, Xayah thought that ARCANE was an idiot. Also, the two met in Volonko, a town you can find on the map.
Volonko.
Another rumored couple is Rumble and Tristana. I say rumored because not only is their love one-sided, Rumble is into Tristana, but Tristana seemingly ignores him. But it's also because the story never mentioned these two together.
They're not technically a couple. It's just like
until the Bandle City update arrives, this one isn't real. But what is very well real is Varus. Varus himself might be a corrupted ascended warrior, aka a Darkin, but his physical body is combined with Valmar and Kai, two Ionian lovers who are also brilliant hunters. This story is quite long and
I feel like this is a tragic story
video
technically.
on it, so you know where to go if you are interested. I highly recommend getting into
I really enjoyed that
It's a
cinematic,
really good
Varus.
one. Next we have to mention Warwick. It seems like before he was kidnapped by Singed, Warwick may have had a daughter. Now there are many
Oh, well, we know the answer to that one.
theories as
It's Vi,
to who the
not his daughter, but
daughter might be, including a theory that it is Jinx. But there are no real proofs to confirm
Vi
anything.
and Jinx.
So Warwick is one massive mystery. The last love affair based on a champion is Yasuo. Well, not Yasuo himself, but Yasuo came out of a mysterious love affair. We know who Yasuo's mother was, but his father was a man who just randomly appeared in the village, and then he ran away. So technically...
Wait, I don't know who his mother is.
Yasuo is a bastard. Practically, he is not. In Ionia, marriage isn't necessary for couples to have kids. In those lands, your love is the real bond. Nobody cares if you have a ring on your finger. Actually, that might explain the Akali situation.
They don't care about
but
marriage.
What's interesting is that Yasuo's father may still be somewhere out there alive. He might also be a powerful swordsman.
That would
like
be
Yasuo.
really cool.
And the very last couple that we know of is in the story, the City of Iron and Glass.
So I have one. Well, I guess this is an alternate universe. I was gonna say I know of another one, but technically it's alternate universe. It's the Vi and Caitlyn thing. Now technically they're not a couple, but you know in ARCANE season 1 they're very much like hinting at them kind of becoming a thing, right?
A longer story that depicts normal life in the upper classes of Zone. It's a story that we never covered on this channel because it never had a massive impact on the world. But it is an amazing story that sets up what Zone is all about. Either way, the main character called Win had a charming relationship with Gaz, an orphan girl from the lower quarters of Zone.
Wait, who are
this
they?
story really reminded me of the older classics from the Victorian era. It is almost as if Oliver Twist took place in Zone. But that's going to be it for this video.
Okay.
I have no doubt there will be a long discussion in the comments about Xayah laying eggs and other inappropriate things. But I will not get into that discussion.
Yeah, you guys let me know. This is older, so please let me know what's new. We do actually have Valentine's Day coming up. It's January right now of 2023, but you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. There's got to be more couples in League of Legends that I don't know about.
Because we still need
please
a
let me
topic
know.
for the next year.
All right, that's the end of the video. Yeah, guys, I think the most interesting part of this is like all of them are essentially tragedies or tragic stories. So we have the Ahri, starting off the bat was the Ahri one, right? And then the Hakim one with Camille was very tragic as well. I thought that one was one with more, like this one is kind of reminiscent of Ahri because Ahri, I guess Ahri's is a little worse because she consumed her lover's soul. And then the Azir one's more of just a mystery. Kagan or Brand, that one's a tragic story as well. He wasn't able to marry the one that he loved. The Elise one, she's just being a badass and kill. The Darious one too, you know what I mean? He straight up had a kid, or it's hinted that he had a kid. So I guess League of Legends really wants to, or I guess Riot wants to really have these tragic stories, and it makes sense. Tragic love stories are more compelling, right? They're more interesting stories versus, I mean, the Xayah ARCANE story clearly is pretty interesting. Those two are like always next to each other, always hand in hand with each other, so they're always you know, fighting together and things like that. But I do get that a tragic story is a little bit more compelling. So Guys, let me know what you think of the video. Please leave a comment and let me know what I should react to next. We are going to react to more Necrit videos as well as some other YouTubers that cover League of Legends lore. We're very, very much more interested in just League of Legends lore specifically, not the stuff related to the game or gameplay or things like that. So please let me know in the comments and I'll see you guys in the next reaction. Peace.